Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this session. Today we are going to see first chapter in geography, India, size and location. These are the topics we are going to cover in this session. India is one of the ancient civilizations in the world. Over the years, India achieved remarkable socio-economic progress. That is, as a society, we evolved in every field like agriculture, industry, technology, in every aspect. The growth of India is a remarkable one. In this chapter, we will see how size and location of India favored its growth. First, we will see India's location. So location of any place can be identified with the help of coordinates, that is the latitude and longitudinal extent. So latitudinal extent, what's the latitudinal extent? It's used to identify a location based on the equator, north south of the equator. Whereas longitude, when we see, it specifies the location east west from the prime meridian line. So here you can see the 0 degree, which is the equatorial line. So we divide it into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere based on the latitude. So India lies in a northern hemisphere. On the basis of the prime meridian, that is on the basis of longitude, when we see, we divide it as a east and west. So India falls into the eastern hemisphere. India lies in a northeastern hemisphere. Next, you can see the 30-degree latitude, which passes through India, which is what we call it as a Tropic of Cancer. It exactly divides the country into two halves. This is the location of India. Here, the specific coordinates of India, that is the latitudinal and longitudinal extent. Latitudinal extent is 8 degree 4 minutes north and 37 degree 6 minutes north. Longitudinal extent 68 degree 7 minutes east and 97 degree 25 minutes east. With the help of this map, we can understand India's location better way. Latitudinal and longitudinal extent are marked here. Latitudinal extent you can see, which is 8 degree 4 minute north, 37 degree 6 minute north. So this is latitudinal extent. Then longitudinal extent 68 degree 7 minute east, 97 degree 25 minutes east. So it represents longitude, we know it represents the eastern hemisphere. So northeastern hemisphere, India's latitude and longitudinal extent. Then you can see the Tropic of Cancer, which is exactly in 23 degree 30 minutes north, which divides India into two equal halves. Then we have two main island groups of India. In the southwest, we have Lakshadweep Island, and in the southeast, we have Andaman and Nicobar Island. So this is the India's location. Then you can see another line, standard meridian, which is 82 degree 30 minutes. So what is this line? When we study about size, we will understand it better. The next topic is size. The landmass of India is 3.28 million square kilometer. The total geographical area of the world, when we compare, India holds 2.4% of landmass. So that's why India is the seventh largest country in the world. The total land boundary of India is 15,200 kilometer, whereas the total coastal length of India, inclusive of Andaman and Lakshadweep Islands, it is 7,516.6 kilometer. This is one of the longest coastal line in the world, which favors India in trade related activities. Then the north and south extension of India. The north we see the Himalayan mountain, the Engfold Himalayan mountain, whereas in the south from 22 degree onwards, 22 degree north latitude onwards, the southern part starts to narrow down. So it tapers in the south side. There is a time lag of 2 hours from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh because of the longitudinal extent of India. So normally we know longitudinal extent, the prime meridian is used as a reference to calculate time. But India, as the Gujarat is located in the extreme western part of India and Arunachal Pradesh is in the eastern part of India, the sun rises 2 hours earlier in Arunachal Pradesh. So in order to avoid that problem, we opted for a longitudinal line which passes through the center of the country, that is 82 degree 30 minutes east, as a standard meridian for our nation. So this is the standard meridian. It is exactly passing through Mirzapur, which is in Uttar Pradesh. Next we will see India's relationship with the world. India holds a strategic location, central location, which helps us to have a better connectivity with East and West Asia. India's oceanic routes connects countries in the West and East Asia. The Deccan Peninsula helps us to have a better trading activities with West Asia, Africa, Europe from western coast, and with Southeast and East Asia from eastern coast. It is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the naming of an ocean after it. Land routes are much older than the sea routes, like the Silk routes which we know earlier, which involved in the exchange of ideas and as well as commodities since ancient time period. So ideas like Upanishads, Ramayana, Panchatattva tales all reached different parts of the world through the land route, that is the Silk route. On the other hand, we also got influenced by the other cultures of particularly Greek culture. The influence of West Asia we can see in the India, like the architectural styles, the dome architectural styles and all from West Asia. So this is how India's location played an important role in the trade related activities, and it's what is helping India in achieving a better economic progress. India's neighbors. India has a strategic location in Southeast Asia. India has 28 states and 8 union territories. Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, the newly framed union territories. Chandigarh, Delhi, Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, which is a merged union territory, a recently merged one. We have Lakshadweep, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then when we talk about the neighboring countries of India, in the northwest we have Pakistan and Afghanistan. In the north, China, Nepal, Bhutan. In the east, we have Myanmar and Bangladesh. In the south, we have island nations, Sri Lanka and Maldives. India and Sri Lanka are separated by a strait. We call it as a Park Strait. The term strait in geography stands for a narrow passage of water which connects two seas or two other large areas of water. So India and Sri Lanka are connected by a Park Strait. We call it as Gulf of Mannar as well. Okay, right. Then India has always established a strong geographical and historical links with her neighbors. So that is what make our country unique. We always try to maintain a good relationship with our neighboring nations. We have come to the end of the lesson. These are some of the questions based on the topic. Thank you.